creatures of time, you and I. We orientate and we organize our lives using chronology. As such, eternity escapes us, and as a result, when we look at history, we subconsciously adapt it to our present tense worldview. How many lessons do we fail to understand, and how many events do we misinterpret? As we attempt to travel into the past, we always seem to carry with us a contemporary baggage of ideas and views. Maybe this is why history always seems to repeat itself. The Bible, for example. The Bible is a Jewish compilation of Jewish books, articles, and letters written to a mostly Jewish audience over a span of approximately 2,000 years, give or take a few hundred. In spite of this, it is read today as a book reflecting Greek Western philosophies, ideas, and concepts. It is almost too lengthy to tell of all the places where this has caused deep misinterpretation of the written text of scriptures. Do we then really understand its message? In the following program, we will go through a familiar passage of the Gospel. As we do, we will restore it to its Hebraic matrix. It is my hope and prayer that this perspective moment will bring you closer to the culture and to the life of the one whom the early disciples called Yeshua. Welcome to Perspectives, where you readjust your belief system. The four Gospels tell us about the life of Yeshua of Nazareth, who was born in Bethlehem. John starts his Gospel in a very different way than the other Gospel writers. He says, "In the beginning," just like the book of Genesis. Here's the full passage. "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him nothing was made that was made. In him was life, and life was the light of man." Later, in verse 14, we find, "And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we have seen his glory. Glory as of the only Son from the Father, full of grace and truth." This is certainly a big statement, leaving us with many questions. I don't believe we're meant to understand everything about the Bible, but Jewish sages have pondered on these things a long time before the manifestation of our Master on the earth. Let's start with two questions. Why does John call the Messiah in his created unborn state the Word? Then, if the Word existed in the beginning, are there any other scriptural references to it? These are legitimate questions which deserve to be answered. The Messiah was a part of ancient Jewish life. I will show you how this works. But before I start, I need to explain to you that the Judaism that we see today is not the same as the one that was lived in pre-temple era and even during the first temple era. Judaism is based on a place, the temple, in a city, Jerusalem, in a country, Israel. When our fathers lost all of that, they had to reinvent for themselves a way to serve God while in exile. The reason for that is that they believed in the abundance of the prophetic scriptures about their eventual return to a sovereign state of Israel under Messiah, ruling in Jerusalem and teaching the world how to follow and serve God according to his commandments. Jews always believe and still do in Messiah. The Hebrew word for it is Mashiach. Say with me, Mashiach. Good. Here is how this works. As God, who is incorporeal, communicated with his people, he had to help them understand him by using corporeal attributes. He is a spirit, we are flesh and blood. He had to talk our language. To Abraham, he was a voice. To Noah also, he was a voice. To Moses, he appeared as a very special bush burning while not being consumed. The voice often expressed human feelings such as anger, jealousy, love, patience, weariness. Those things are human things. Even sometimes he expressed himself in animal attributes, such as he will keep us under his wings, like a bird. Can you imagine? For a people that lived in the middle of cultures for whom God was either a man or an animal, or a thing, a rock, something, a tree, it would be easy for the children of Israel coming out of Egypt to have confusion, to be confused.